My name is Candace Carnahan. So I'm an inspirational speaker and I travel all over North America and through Europe, and it's always to share my story about a day that changed my life forever. So I was injured on the 11th of August in 1999. It was my third year at the paper mill. And I was using a commonly used shortcut, stepped over top of a conveyor belt system that was unguarded, and when I did put my foot down, it was at exactly the wrong place at the wrong time. I ended up losing the lower part of my left leg as a result of taking that step, and had my foot and leg amputated. The recovery didn't take as long as one would think. It was a few weeks in the hospital. I knew that having this kind of second chance at life, I would want to travel and kind of go out there and really make the most of it. Sometimes I even find it hard to think about it as a bad thing, because everything in my life has really been so amazing in the grand scheme of things since then. But what I always come back to is that, of course, I have struggles, and your life can be amazing without losing your leg. Obviously, this didn't have to happen. I think that the past 12 years of traveling around the world and sharing this experience has allowed me the opportunity to take more of an inspirational tone and really tie in just life lessons, having the courage to care, speaking up, putting things into perspective, and things like that I really enjoy talking about now, in addition to what actually happened on that day that changed my life forever. So today we are on our way to the Fredericton Convention Center, and I am speaking for WorkSafe New Brunswick for their annual conference. So I'm pretty excited. It's kind of a homecoming feel. I guess my first speech was 12 years ago at this conference, and so it's pretty awesome to be returning here in New Brunswick. It still happens to me all the time. I run into people and they'll say, "I remember where I was that day." Everyone's got their memory of that day, and that's the thing. It's not just about you. Someone gets hurt, everybody's affected for years. So this teacher says, "I remember I was at the hospital the day you were hurt. I was in Emerge. My son sprained his wrist." And she kind of just went off in her own head, and I was listening politely, and she said, "I can still hear that awful scream." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know if I need to know all this, And I said, "Oh, I don't remember anything after being at the hospital." And she said, "Oh no, I'm sorry. That wasn't you, it was your father when he showed up and they told him what happened to you." And that gets me every time I tell it. I only found that out 2 years ago. It's not about you. I'm here today and I'm talking to you, but it's the people who need you to come home safe that this is really all about. So when you go out there and you take a risk, it's not your risk to take.
Well, what I thought about Candace's speech today, I thought it was really motivating. The element that she brought in regards to how it can affect people around us, the people that love us, the people at home, our friends, our parents, our children, co-workers. Everybody will be affected.
If you've been doing something risky, if you've been doing something in an unsafe manner and getting away with it time and time again until today, consider yourself lucky and change your ways today. Do that one thing safer, because eventually you'll get caught.
I think that Candace's performance today was inspirational. To have such a young girl overcome what she has in her life is just incredible, and how powerful her speech was. I wish I had have been able to bring my own kids along to listen to Candace's speech.
You never want to be left asking yourself the question, what more could I have done? And know that there's an answer, but that you just didn't bother to make it your business to do anything about it. please, again, never underestimate the power that you have to do one thing or say one thing, each and every one of you in this room, today or tomorrow, for someone that could change a life or save one.
I guess I hope that I'm not even anywhere close to the end game, and this is really just the beginning. I think that I'm finally at a place now where, of course, my story is always going to be important, but I'm able to take up the stage with positive messages and positive energy, and to really be allowed to share my story without it having to be doom and gloom. For me, this isn't, I guess that's what it really boils down to. It's not work. It's a passion. It's a lifestyle for me, and a cause that I have no intention of letting up on.